If you're a practice owner or a new practice owner or a practice manager and feel like you're driving in the dark, like you're piloting a plane in the fog or whatever it is, then fear no more. What you need to be doing is watching your key performance indicators that I'm going to go over in this episode. Stay tuned. Take it in. Hey guys, Dr. Joel Parker here with a Standing Ovation Practice. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Listen, I spent 17 years in private practice and the last 20 consulting private practices just like yours. I am the champion of the private practice owner. So listen, what I've got to share with you today is our key performance indicator series. This is part 2. If you need to see part 1, that'll be back on the channel. But what I want to talk to you guys today about the specific metrics, the key performance indicators that we're going to use to track your practice. Now, these indicators, everybody, are not unlike tracking a blood glucose or a red cell count or your sodium level, what have you, your CPKs, whatever, on a cat or a dog. What I'm going to give you here are the reference ranges for this five key performance indicators to start, and then I'm going to tell you what the normal reference range is. Let's dive in. First of all, the facility size. This is very important. A facility is like a box where there's clients and patients that come in, and the average practice is open about 56 hours a week. You know, that's 8 to 6 Monday to Friday, staying open late, maybe 2 hours extra to 8 o'clock on Thursday or Wednesday, and a Saturday session from 9 to 1. That's 56 hours. If you're closed Saturday, then and you don't have the evening hours, then we're about 50 hours a week. So that's what we're going to talk about, is that kind of metric. Now, the facility size, the 10% rule, is that 10% of your medical facility. So when you're calculating this, I want you to look at your practice, whether you're in a little strip mall or whether you're a freestanding building. I want you to subtract the grooming and subtract the general boarding. What we're talking about here is medical hospitalization. We're talking about your reception area, your exam rooms, your washroom, your surgical area, your x-ray area, staff meeting room, things like that. Everything that's medically related, and a storage room if you've got it, but not including grooming or boarding, okay? So when you're calculating this out, the 10% rule is a good number of weekly transactions is 10% of your square footage. So if you've got a 2,200 square foot little office, okay, then 10% of that is going to be 220. That's a good number of transactional flows through your practice. Times that by 4.33 weeks of the month, and you get the 43% in terms of the ideal number of transactions to be busy in your practice. I don't mean overwhelmed, I mean busy. I don't mean underwhelmed that you're standing around. Okay, guys? So what we eventually want you to do here is start tracking your transactions on a weekly basis and start graphing those out. And I'll show you the graphs later on here again, so you can start to get an idea where you're going. Secondly is, a DVM, is a valuable person to have in your practice. You need 1 per 1,000 square feet. So a 2,200 square foot practice would be good for about 2.2 DVMs. A 6,000 square foot practice, or up into the 6,000 area there, up into the 6 DVM area there. Now, in terms of exam rooms, you need 1 more exam room than you've got DVM. So the 2,200 square foot practice, good for about 2 and a smidge DVMs, should have 3 exam rooms. The 6,000 square foot practice should have 7 exam rooms. Remember, 1 more exam room than the number of DVMs, okay? The same rule applies, interestingly enough, with incoming phone lines. Incoming unencumbered phone lines that you've got so your clients can reach you. Do not cramp your inflow with not enough phone lines. The beautiful thing is with the new VoIP systems, the voice over internet protocol systems, is that there's unlimited phone calls coming in. And we'll talk more on that later. You know, I've already mentioned it in the Standing Ovation Practice series and the organization series about having a separate room to have your CSRs in there answering the phones, freeing up your front desk for your client concierges interacting with your clients. Okay, guys, so facility size, 10% rule for transactions a week. 1,000 square feet per DVM. Now, once you've got that worked out, you need 30 to 40 new clients a month for each DVM to remain healthy. Let's call it 30 for ease of math. If you've got 40, that's even better. But when I've looked at remarkably healthy practices over this last 20 years, they're running 30 to 40 new clients a month for each DVM. So let's do the math. 2,200, 2,000 square foot practice, good for 2 DVMs. You're going to want to have 60 new clients a month. Okay? This is the normal reference range. Some of you may be getting more than that. Some of you may not be getting enough of that. I find that practices that are working with shelters on a good relationship where they're giving the animal shelters a break on the cost, but the shelters are referring into the practice, those are healthy practices. Think about the loss of income, the loss of profit from working with a shelter. Consider that a marketing cost, and think of the cost of getting new clients in your door. So just a little action step to take if you've not already embraced working with the shelters in your practice area. Case new clients, 30 to 40 a month per DVM. If you're a 6-doctor practice, 6,000 square feet, you need 180 new clients coming in. Let's see, yeah, that'd be like 6 doctors times 3. That'd be 180 a month. It's a lot, isn't it? Okay. All right. And by the way, that is the function of your external marketing systems. We talked about that in part of the PR and marketing and sales series. Okay. Transactions. Again, you need that 450 a month for each DVM. 450 a month is roughly about 100 to 125 a week. And that keeps a DVM that's been out of school for 2 or 3, 4 years, that's in the groove. They've got their medical and surgical chops in order. They're grooved in. They keep up with their medical records. That's a good amount for a good, productive and profitable DVM. Now, the way you want to use this is look at what your current transactions are, and importantly, look at the trends. And if you were uptrending, and let's say that you're uptrending towards 900 transactions and you're by yourself, you need another DVM. On the other hand, what can happen, especially with brand new practice owners in those first couple of years where it can seem very overwhelming, you can be doing maybe 400 transactions a month, 350 a month. You feel overwhelmed from all of the other duties and decisions and pressures of practice ownership, thinking you need to hire another doctor, and you can erroneously hire another doctor, but then not have the money to pay them. Now, a fix on that, because doctors are hard to find. If you've been blessed with finding a great doctor that wants to work at your practice, as an owner, check your transactions number. What you can do is hire that person, and then you yourself can go and work in doing relief work in local ERs and stuff like that. You become the relief doctor. And all this is pushing towards you creating a standing ovation practice that is running independently of you as an owner, where you can get down and be profitable, not working so many hours in the practice. More on that later. Transaction, we talked about there. Great. The other one I want to finish off on here is the average client transaction. If you look at the income coming into the practice, that is a combination of the transactions times what you're charging people. And the important thing is that your average client transaction, if you look over here, that says MDI, that stands for the median disposable income of your community. Guess what? There are census figures on what communities have for disposable income. Disposable income for your clients is that cash in their jeans at the end of their paycheck when the taxes have been taken off and submitted. So it's that leftover cash that they use for rent, mortgages, food, shelter, clothing, and pet care. And guess what? We can use that, and I'm going to show you in the next episode. We can use that to extrapolate what your fee should be for your area to make sure we get them not so hot, not so cold, but right in that Goldilocks zone of just perfect for your area. Okay, so super, super important that all of these things are combining together to create your standing ovation practice. Now, everything, the number of new clients, transactions, ACT, and the gross income can all be graphed out again on a weekly basis. Our basic quad of statistics is new clients, transactions, average client transaction, and gross income. So guys, start tracking those. That's your homework for the week, right? Get into it. Get into your practice management software system. Learn how to pull out that weekly report. Take a highlighter and highlight the new clients, the transactions, the ACT, and the gross income. Go into Excel, graph those out, and let's start looking at your trends. Okay, guys, that's all I got for you this week. If you enjoyed this content, please take the time to like it down below. That's that little thumb. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you turn on your notifications. And importantly, if you really love it, tell your friends. I'd love more people to get onto this information. It helped me and it's helped thousands of clients immensely. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.